What's going on, guys? So I'm this furtive son of a bitch that is gonna make you look at other shit, because who the fuck wants to look at me? And so I have some real shit to talk about. So I was talking to some lady on Facebook, and then I just got a like from some other stuff I was looking at, YouTube, blah 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 blah. So perhaps people will eventually click on my channel and view some stuff, because of once in a while they look at my workout shit. So anyway, here you go. I have been so for half of my life I've been a sporadic or intermittent or on and off again sufferer of sleep paralysis. And even before then, going back to when I was about maybe 5 years old, give or take. They say you have no memories before 5, but I've shocked my parents. So anyway, you get the freaking point, man. I had what I consider more than ostensible paranormal, aka demonic activity. And I have to watch out. I'm trying to, I got this company work phone that once in a while everybody can hear what the fuck you're talking about, and they're gonna know I'm nuts. So, yeah, guys, so thanks for bearing with me. I don't even know where to begin on this shit. I always have this disclaimer that, like, if you're what they call a naturalist, a materialist, an atheist, a skeptic, like, I respect that, man. But then I would also retort that I wish I could afford to be like that, man, because I've honestly assessed my what I believe they call hypnopomia. Like, the worst case of hypnopomia would be like sleepwalking. I've honestly self-assessed it, and a reason it's demonic, it's spiritual, you get the fucking point, right? Trust me, I didn't know what this like phenomenon was. And let's say like this shit happens at 3 a.m. in the night. Well, by 3 p.m. there I was being an asshole and fucking denying to myself that shit's just in my mind. All the usual excuses. Even before I knew, there was excuses for it. Like, what the fuck did they say? Like, it's from being stressed out, or for eating too much salty food, or something that's going to heighten your blood pressure, and all this and that. And, for the most part, that would be probable, but, like, for example, I've had 2 other people have the same happenstance. Like, I had a friend, the same room that my sleep paralysis began. He's like my roommate now. He's like a lifelong bro. He sleeps in there, and I hear, oh, like that, and fucking, he tells me what the fuck happened, like, something's weird, and kind of like this lucid dream shit where you can't really pop out of it right away. He's very vague about it, but then, let me take the sip of this coffee real quick. So, I had this beat up ass van that I was lucky enough to bang, this one chick in. And, so she's like taking a nap, and one of my favorite pastimes is just to soak in nostalgia and listen to old music I've kind of grown up with while, my happy, hapless, victimized prey slumbers. And so, like, I'm pretty sure we had sex or something, and she's passed out, and fucking, and probably smoking weed, listening to the music, and she pops out of whatever the fuck, and she tells me that she's vague about it too, like, some kind of lucid dream you can't immediately pop out of. And then I freaked the fuck out of her and regret it, because I'm like, oh, did you feel like you're being sucked between the front seats? And she's like, yeah, oh, like that. And then immediately I kind of spooked myself out, but more than that, my selfish ass is more concerned that she's not gonna come and bang me in my fucking G-ride anymore. You know, and fucking, where am I going with this? Yeah, you get the fucking point. I forgot something else I was gonna say about that. Yeah, so she had, you know, the same fuck, dude. So yeah, sleep paralysis sucks. I wish I could name a certain particular event, but yeah, so I might as well go back to the beginning of this shit. You know, I was really, really young, like fucking not even in kindergarten yet. And I remember this one day I was kind of feeling sad. And I gave into the sadness, you know? And so all of a sudden, I had like a brief, look, check this out. I take offense to someone. There was this one video trying to say, like, you ever heard of the Hat Man? Well, if you clicked on the sleep paralysis thing, you probably have. That, like, people who purportedly seen the Hat Man is just because they were raised in an era where they were, like, afraid of Freddy Krueger and shit like that. I come from a Christian home, and I wasn't allotted to be able to watch fucking scary movies and shit. And some people would say, well, that just makes you more fixated on opening Pandora's box, which would more exacerbate something like that. You surely have seen movie trailers. This Hat Man thing that I seen, it had nothing to do with it. It had no similitude or silhouette as like Freddy Krueger. I didn't even think it was a dude in a hat, because that many years later after this happened, when they're talking about the Hat Man, it kind of finally dawned on me. I'm like, oh, I could just totally see how that's a hat and a trench coat kind of thing. No, when I first saw this thing, it was like this. So it's like I was probably staring at the walls of my room and staring at my toys or whatever I was doing at that time. But it was as if I was briefly teleported to a world where like I noticed there's no time. A lot of people who say that they had like afterlife experiences, they say that when the first thing they realize in the afterlife or the great beyond or whatever, there's the absence of time. I didn't see any of those kind of documentaries yet. There's no such thing as YouTube and stuff back then to even look this up. So it's almost like I got briefly envisioned or saw a world. The first thing I realized is the absence of time. It's a really, really gloomy place. It has like a bluish aura around it. And in the middle of this place, room, or world, there is like, which I would always describe as like a dark, malignant, contorted, horrific fucking shadow tree thing. And it's conscious. It's alive, but in the Christian sense of jargon, it's dead. And yeah, man, you know, during the day, ever since then, like once in a while, maybe it started when I was 10 years old, or probably way later than that, but I would try to, it's the light of the daytime, and I'm not as scared of these, what they call foreboding presences and shit. I would kind of like I'd freak my parents out. I would try to draw what the fuck this thing is. And maybe I embellished it a little bit, but I would draw like a tree that has like a bunch of fucking suffering naked souls or people attached to it, with like, you know, the limbs are coming out with fucking heads moaning in pain and like fucking you know, limbs and shit, like fucking trapped fucking morbid fucking suffering souls. And you know, I was rationalizing that this shit was what the fuck it was well before I got into heavy metal music, well before I was allowed to see my first the first time I ever even seen a horror movie. It was called Demon Night, and I was 12 years old, because finally I was like a latchkey kid and there was no parental supervision, and I could finally go do all those unchristian-like things and explore the dark side of the world. You get the fucking point, right? So, yeah, ain't that shit a fucking bitch? And I have another fucking story that, I mean, if anybody follows this shit, please drop a comment and tell me to... I have a fucking... I was like 19 or 20 years old, and this shit happened again, where I like visited... It wasn't like a world, but I saw an anthropomorphic, fucking horrific looking thing, man. I shit you not, I'm not making this up. I'm not trying to write a book about it. I don't like fiction. That's why I don't dabble in creepy pastas. I do like Reddits though, and I'm pretty sure not all of it is true testimonies. But look, yes, I am like a religious nut. Yes, I am superstitious. But I mean, I'm not embellishing this shit at all. I've sifted through testimonials where I could totally tell it was bullshit, and I ain't having it. I ain't bullshitting you guys. You know, I've had the most, like, you know, foreboding ass presences or whatever the fuck lurking in the distant abysmal fog or some shit of my home, you know, and fucking, it's so fretful that your ears ring, man. And, like, where was I going with this? Like it sounds so fucking convenient. It's always in the corner of your eye. It's always in a dark corner. It's always in your closet or some shit. Yeah, I guess, like, fucking, you know, they say that demons like to lurk, they're attracted to darkness and fucking, and shit like that, you know, and, I couldn't confide this shit in my parents because they would just call me a bitch and, tell me to get the fuck over it, you know, but, when I started having sleep paralysis and I started really conjecturifying this shit to myself, I reasoned it was demonic, man. Like the last time I had the sleep paralysis bullshit, like for example, I'm very being vague, but there's this tremendous fucking howling in my ear. Like first I'm having a weird dream about me fucking taking a nap at the beach, so to speak. And like, there's this dog that I'm afraid, I don't make any sudden movements. It's like sniffing in my ear and shit. And then for some fucking reason, this fucking demonic ass looking owl sits on a perch and then it starts talking to me. And then when I realized it was a lucid dream. I realized I was dreaming. I realized I couldn't wake the fuck up, at least immediately. And as this is going on, there's like a fucking violent howling in my ear. Like, you know, it's very I don't know, the word is bombastic. Like, imagine like, it's almost like you get the vibe that if this is an entity, it is really like satirically fucking aggressive against you. Like I'm talking to you like this and all laid back, but imagine if I was talking to you unnecessarily fucking harsh. Like it was like, I got that kind of impression from it. Like it's like held back, like suppressed fucking indignation, you know? Like it was fucking weird, dude. Like any fucking ways, if you give a shit, I'm sure no one's gonna watch this, but if you give a flying fuck about it, please fucking comment. I don't even give a fuck about subscribers or any of this shit. Like I'm furtive as fuck. Go ahead and fucking drop a comment, ask me to elaborate or fucking expound more on a certain ask questions or share your own fucking story, man. Yeah, so fucking any fucking way, man. I only have 15 minutes of a time at this fucking bullshit, or else I would totally fucking be enthusiastic to fucking be energized and elaborate and motherfuck detail about all this shit and why the fuck I don't think that this is a natural phenomenon. So anyway, fuck yeah, guys. Take care.